I'm going to kick off with a little bit of a preview, a little bit of a rugby union preview.
Yeah, absolutely.
For once, we won't be yapping too much about it, I think, because I think everything we could have said about the All Blacks this season, we've probably said.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the developments since the last podcast to now, there hasn't really been a lot, apart from the squad being announced for the end of year tour, which, newsflash, is the exact same squad. Only a couple of differences.
Yeah.
No bolters, no surprise call-ups, no tough selection decisions. What we all expected.
Yeah.
Well, not really. A lot of people expected more youth and more newer players to be added in.
Very hard by this point, though, right? Like if we really, like I've said, because as we've been away, we see different people talking about it, different comment sections, stuff like that. Especially with the All Black 15, which by this point I feel like is the more exciting squad to talk about because you never know who's going to be in that.
Yeah.
But like with that influx of youth, to be honest, the All Blacks at the moment, you could argue, is a young team anyway.
It is a very young team. Like you look at the props, like the likes of De Groot and Williams are both very young.
Yep.
Sammy Sonny's not the youngest hooker in the world, but like Elmore is a little bit younger, and then you've got guys like George Bell and Brody McAllister who are pretty young. Even in the locks, obviously, Tupou Vai's still young. Fabian Holland's very young. Lucy's.
I think that was the one change actually in the All Blacks team. Bell made it, McAllister out.
Was it Bell?
It was Bell. I'm pretty sure it was Bell. I'm going to double check. Keep talking.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think it was Bell in and McAllister out.
One of the others. But then obviously in the flankers positions, you've obviously got Wallace Satiti carried over from last year.
Yep.
And then you've got Peter Lakai, who's I think younger than him. And then obviously,
I think they're around the same age anyway.
And then in the backs, obviously, Hotham, very young. Roygaard's still pretty young. Obviously, no young fly halves. That's a bit of a contentious issue. But in terms of the other backline positions, I don't know if there's anyone who's super young apart from Ruben Love, if I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Most of the people are already well established or over the age of 25. I know Leroy Card is fairly new, but he's not old by any means.
Yeah,
he's not young by any means. He's 26, 27.
Also to confirm, Bell is in the All Black squad and Brody McAllister's in the All Black 15.
Yes.
Which is kind of sad for him. He was almost pushed into it. It would be that last South Africa game.
Yeah,
tough.
And it was because there were two other hooker injuries, I think, in front of him, and also a hooker who'd probably do a better job. It wouldn't have been considered because he was leaving in the form of Ricky Riccatelli. But I hope it's not the end for Brady McAllister because he'll probably bounce back from this. He'll be back up at the Chiefs next year. The Sammy Sonny, he won't have to worry about Bradley Slater behind him because he'll be at the Blues.
Yep.
Probably going head to head with Kurt Eklund.
Who Bradley Slater did make the All Black 15.
Yes, did see that, which is very, very good.
So we'll take that.
But All Blacks 15, a couple of young players, a couple of older guys who've played for the All Blacks and have called them up because they see it as a bit of an extended training group, and this team will be in Europe at the same time. So you see why guys like David Hovely have been called up, and Falau Fakatava have been called up, and like Dalton, I'm pretty sure got called up as well. But then a lot of guys who you know they've been called up for that reason, but you're like, why them specifically? You'd maybe want a younger player, a more inexperienced player.
Are we going to say the obvious?
I think I was just concerned with, I know on their day, the likes of Brandon Eno and Dallas McLeod have been good for the Crusaders, but the fact that neither, I think, are out-and-out starters for the Crusaders. You've selected
especially with Leicester back
and selected in a developmental squad ahead of, and a little bit of bias, but I'll say more than just blue centers. The likes of AJ Lamb. AJ didn't make the team, did he? No,
he didn't.
AJ Lamb,
crazy.
Xavier Taili, Riley Higgins. You can even argue some of the guys at the Landers. At the did Daniel Rona make the team?
Daniel Rona did make the team.
Make the team.
Thank the Lord, because he played excellent for the Chiefs this year.
And I know McLeod and Eno have both played for the All Blacks. I know Eno was, I think when he did play for the All Blacks the first time around, he was seen as quite a big deal, like someone who...
It was a huge injury that stumped his career.
And I get that. But McLeod was always someone who got caught up when no one was really expecting it.
Yeah.
And hasn't got back there yet.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there will be a place for someone like AJ Lamb and Xavier Taili in the future.
Yeah,
but
true.
And it wasn't, and I know a lot of people also concerned a lot of the Otago guys from NBC didn't get called up to that squad. I think most of it was Dylan Pledger, which we understand he's a very promising young scrum half prospect. But at the end of the day, he is 19. You can kind of understand why he hasn't been named in the All Blacks 15. I think this could have been a second full NPC season.
It would be a very fan pick.
It would be, but it would make sense. Like if they could have brought him over as an apprentice, as long as I'm concerned. I think Artie Savia was probably about the same age when he was an apprentice, many moons ago.
Yeah, but hadn't Artie Savia already played Super Rugby before that point?
He may have, but also he may not have at that point.
Somebody have to fact check that for us.
It was in about 2012 or something. It was when Julian was in the squad.
Yeah,
and then Moore was also in the same position. Maybe he'd played for the Canes.
I think he had by the point he had. But that's the thing, right? Like I said this to you off camera.
Yeah,
I said, look, I would, those young guys have played awesome, especially in Otago.
Yep.
I know he's played in the All Blacks this year.
Yeah.
Shout out to Christian Leawilli.
Yeah.
Who was in the All Blacks, against France. Came out for Simon Parker, who has played fantastic at 6 for us. But shout out to Christian Leawilli taking that on the chest.
Yeah.
Going to back to Otago, and playing his butt off.
Yeah.
I hate saying it. I'd love to see Hoskins do the same thing, but
Yeah.
he just has not. And Leawilli went and did that and proved it. Just so you know what, okay, I'm going to take my next opportunity and prove my point, and that's exactly what he did.
As every day goes forward, I feel like Hoskins is more and more likely to move to England.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if
there's reports of it coming out now too.
I don't know if he'll play for England per se, but the fact he's eligible for England will make him very enticing to Premiership teams. I know they'd love someone who's played for the All Blacks before.
Yeah.
Tom Christie is another Lucy who's just gone over there with the
Yeah.
not the new, but the recently rebranded Newcastle team. So
Red Bull taking over again.
yeah, let's see how far we do, how far they go. But in terms of the All Blacks, first game of the Northern Tour. It's a Grand Slam technically, even though the first game is in Chicago. I reckon it should be considered a Grand Slam. It's an away game for us.
Yeah.
It's on neutral territory. There's going to be a lot of Irish fans in Chicago. We've lost to Ireland and Chicago there before. So
Yeah, true.
we play Ireland there the Sunday at 9 o'clock, and then we take on the likes of England, Scotland, and Wales later on. The Wales test probably the more experimental game that you'd have to say
just with how they're playing at the moment, which I do hope they figure it out.
Yeah, I think they recently announced that they're moving to a free region system there, which I think has pissed off a lot of people because, of course, it would if you're downsizing. England will probably be annoyingly a tough game, and Scotland. Who knows? Scotland on paper.
Is it at Murrayfield?
Yeah, we'll be at Murrayfield.
Oh my goodness! Look at hopefully our streak carries on there.
Yeah, our streak, which winning test at Murrayfield, which has existed since 1905. Crazy than the Eden Park one. But if we look into this Ireland game at Chicago, I'm not expecting. I think no one at this stage is expecting something completely different.
I think
we're going to see if he's fit. Bowden's playing at 10. The only, I think, points of contention, I think, is like who's going to start on the wing. I think we're going to see Geordie and Tupai in midfield in some combination. Jordan at 15. It's just two players on the wings. There's, I think, you'd probably say 3 guys who are probably likely to play on the wing. It's either Leroy Carter, it's either Caleb Clark, or it's Lestafine Onuku. It will be one of the 3. And apart from that, I think every other position picks itself. I still think we see Parker Savia and probably Satiti. Maybe we see Lakai again. Maybe we see Kedifi again.
You'll see one of Satiti or Lakai. You could swap those two with bench 8, starting 8, pretty much. You're going to see both of them.
Yeah. In terms of the locks, it will be probably Barrett next to Vai with Holland coming off, especially with Toi Pelotu out for the rest of the season and probably into part of Super Rugby.
Actually, we completely forgot. Vai's out for the season.
Oh shit! No, Tupou Vai is out for the season.
Out for the season. I think it was a meniscus, so knee.
We will see a Barrett Holland starting lineup
with Darry.
Hopefully Darry, because Lord was called up before him in the squad. That was the only other change.
If it happens again, look, Josh Lord, you're probably a great person, mate.
But we will be.
Don't. Anyway, besides the point.
Yeah, I think Sam Darry, how he's played in NPC as well for Canterbury, I think kind of proves He should
Yes.
be in that conversation. He should be in that position now, considering 2 of the starting locks have gone down.
Yeah, exactly.
Or starting quality locks have gone down with injuries.
Which, by the way, congratulations to Canterbury
For winning the
on
NPC.
winning the NPC. No,
I mean,
that's a bit
fair enough.
dramatic there
but
from me.
They sold out their stadium, which they should be doing anyway. So
Yeah.
good on you. It was a
It's-
shame Otago couldn't win it because
Yeah.
they would have been a bit of Cinderella story, coming in second,
True.
comfortably one of the best teams in the league, and they packed out as much as they could their stadium for their semi.
Yeah.
But I think we see Derry, a bit of Derry, or maybe we might actually see a bit of Luke Jacobson because he's in the squad, if I'm not mistaken.
He hasn't really played.
And he
yet.
hasn't played, I think, a single All Blacks game. He was supposed to play, and then he had that head knock in the final Super Rugby where he got knocked so hard out.
That look is still very vivid in my head.
Yeah, that's still etched into my
Yeah.
mind. The face he pulled when he got knocked out.
Crazy.
And I think it must have been another injury popped up, but
it did.
I assume we will see him at some stage. Maybe not against Ireland, but maybe later on. Maybe he comes off the bench against Scotland. I'd be very confident in saying he'd start against Wales because I think there's still a role for Luke Jacobson in the All Blacks
Yeah.
because he can cover all 3 positions. He's a big body. He's been a part of a very good Chiefs team. Yes, they can't win finals, but that's not on one.
That's not on one person.
No. And I think whenever he has played for the All Blacks, he has looked good. It's just unfortunately a lot like Ethan Blackadder. Injuries, unfortunately, have not been able to,
And
go away.
also you could technically say you've got a guy that's quite a bit younger that can play 6, 7, 8.
in
Lakai.
Although I think at 6 he's a little bit more inexperienced. He's also not as big.
Yes.
But I think you still pester with Jacobson for now.
Yep.
If another loose forward does go down, I'd like to see Dalton come up from the 15, get another
Agreed.
shot like he did earlier in the year and didn't look too bad. He's been playing a lot of 6 for counties. That could be...
He's been playing a lot of 8 for counties as
That
well.
could be him.
Actually, everything. He's played everything, but apart from number 7.
Which I honestly feel like might be a good thing for his All Black stocks because I think they may have looked at him as like primarily a 7, maybe kind of similar to Kiddiffy, not as one-dimensional. I'm not saying Kiddiffy's a one-dimensional player, just in terms of the positions he covers. But Dalton was always able to play 6 and 8. He just didn't play it often. So you have him as an option and Simon Parker as an option. And then you've got Lakai as an option who can do 7, 8 and a little bit of 6. Jacobson who can do 6, 7, 8. You've got Savia who can do 7 and 8. Satiti who can do 6 and 8. Like, that's really good. Like, that's...
Versatility, yes, very good.
A lot of good versatility, a lot of good options, a lot of options for us to choose and have a bit of logjam and figuring out who's going to play in those positions. But I'm expecting us to just name the team, probably in vain the same team we played against Australia, against Ireland, just with if there are better players available, you play with better players. All I want to see, I want us to, remain disciplined. I want to see us doing better under the high ball.
Yeah.
I just want us to, not make stupid mistakes. And also, I don't want to see Ruben Love come on as a winger. I want to see him come on as either a fullback or a 10.
Yes.
If we're going to have him on the bench, because I don't think it's beneficial for him or for the All Blacks to bring him on the wing where he's never really played that at any level.
Do you know the one thing I want to see?
What?
I want to see the coaching adjustments we make. Because now
Wow.
we've lost another attacking coach.
Well, he's going at the end of the year. He's not gone yet.
But still, I'm sensing something here. You have Leon McDonald go.
Yeah.
You had Jason Holland go. You've got to figure something out there. I personally think in the year tour, you've got to figure it out.
All I'm going to say is welcome back, Joe Schmidt 2026. But yeah,
if he wants to come back.
I think I don't know if he'll have a job lined up. I think he'll be very happy to.
I mean, let's be real here, because I know people like bring Jamie Joseph in, who, to be fair, has lined it up.
Well, he's with the 15s, isn't he? So I think he's probably
the head coach of the 15s.
I wouldn't be surprised if both Jamie and Joe are in the coaching staff.
People are trying to
next World Cup.
People are trying to throw Tony Brown out there as well. He's not leaving South Africa yet.
I don't think he'll leave him this World Cup cycle. I think he's probably indebted himself to Rassie and everyone.
I mean,
I don't blame him.
Look what he's done to their attack.
Yeah, he's masterminded how good South Africa have been this year.
Yeah.
And it will be really interesting to see how that sustains. And we haven't got this written down here, but I thought we'd just go over quickly miscellaneous rugby stuff that we haven't talked about. A couple of Super Rugby signings and departures.
Let's go.
Which have happened. I'm trying to remember all of them off the top of my head, like an expert I am.
A first one for the Blues.
For the Blues,
Let's go.
well, there's been a couple. So these guys are part of the new. So they announced that they're bidding the U20 Super Rugby competition, replacing it with a developmental comp. Essentially, they will be made up of players who don't play in any games or members of your wider training squad, which has been extended to 12 players.
Yes.
These guys can't play unless a player in the same position has been injured. We've managed to sign two really talented guys from Canterbury, Eli Unduran and James Cameron. Unduran played hooker at the this year's U20 World Champs. A lot of people really happy with that. And then James Cameron, I think, is the centre. So really good to get two of those guys in. And they'll be very good as wider training guys and probably first team guys going into the future. But also the Blues have brought over probably the best inside centre in club rugby in the past 5 years.
You could argue that.
Well, I think most people, the people who pay attention to European rugby, not me personally, but the people who do, they do say that. Peter Aki is coming back from 8 years in France, I believe, where he was sensational. He never really got...
Played for Toulon, eh?
I believe so.
Yeah.
One of the ones starts with two. It's Toulon or Toulouse. I always get them mixed up. They both play in red and black as well. You're going to check.
If you're French and listening to this, I'm so sorry we don't know, but I'm going to double.
He's going to double check. But Peter Aki, I don't know if he was born and raised in Auckland, but he was raised in the 09, came through at the Blues, didn't really get a look in, went over to France where he was sensational. He is 34 now, but the fact he's been in France, he'll probably be playing like he's 5 years younger.
Did not know he was
he's from
only 5'11". According to Wikipedia, he is Toulouse.
Toulouse.
So
he'll come back and he'll add a raft of experience to the centre position. He is a centre and he's primarily an inside centre, I think I remember. So
he's a big guy. We're talking 5'11", 101 kg. Tough.
This will see either Lamb play at 13 or obviously Taeli play at 13 and Lamb play on the wing with Caleb Clark, which I'm not super against in this situation.
No.
Aki, it's a very Bryce Heem-esque signing. He was
He
supposed to play this year, but he got injured. I think he was even supposed to play next year, but he called it a day, which fair enough. But no, I think
could he do something? We'll see.
Peter Aki, absolutely. I think he could. He played for Samoa at the last World Cup.
Did he play for Samoa or Tonga?
Samoa.
Oh, okay.
Samoa, pretty sure. No,
it's Tonga.
Was it Tonga?
Yeah, he represents Tonga at international level.
Sorry, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry.
After the rugby league game they had, which we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I think
that's tough.
I was thinking of a story. A friend of the podcast told us. Who lives in Bristol? Who bumped into Stephen Luatua? He plays for Samoa.
Yes.
And I got those two mixed up. Yeah, Peter Aki played for Tonga at the last World Cup. So I don't really think this is a case of you'll come back to New Zealand and make the All Blacks. Because unfortunately he's 34. But I think he could do a job in Super Rugby. It's a much needed backfield acquisition for the Blues.
Yep.
In terms of the other teams, I'm just trying to think if anyone signed anyone ridiculous. I know the Crusaders signed someone from the Sevens circuit. I forgot who. Obviously Josh Jacobs joined the Highlanders for 2027 onwards.
Yeah.
I think we knew that before last time.
So just let me clarify on that. So Josh Jacobs still going to play for the Chiefs
next year, and then he's moving to the Highlanders. But I think that they'll try to get him there earlier. I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon they'll land.
Because here's the point, and I've said this to you, like the Chiefs clearly love playing D-Mac at 10, who at Super Rugby level was elite, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I would rather see him at 15 and Jacob at 10, personally, because I think every fan knows we need some young 10s around here. Josh Jacob has dominated NPC level, you could argue now for the last couple of years, for the last few years. And then, he's showing signs at Super Rugby level at 10, but he just needs to make that little bit extra jump. I think it's very similar to Dylan Pledger, who played fantastic for Otago, and he's younger, he's 19, insane. We are sorted at halfback, but he's got to make a pass for Lau Whakatava at the Highlanders and go from there. But yeah.